Hello, you're watching TelecomTV and we're reporting from the ETSI NFV number 13 event here in Dublin in Ireland. We are in the executive boardroom, a very nice boardroom it is too, of Croke Park, the big basically sports ground and the headquarters of the Gaelic Athletics Association. It's a very historically significant place. And I am talking with Stephen Wright, who is the chairman of ETSI. Stephen, thanks for talking to us. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
First question. After the buzz around the announcement of NFV as a technology, after the proofs of concept and the field trials and some limited commercial rollout of virtualised services, it seems there's a groundswell of opinion now that it's not going quite as fast as it might be going, and it's partial. Do you agree with that assessment? Has it been taking longer than expected, and if so, why?
I'm not sure I would agree with the assessment. I think if you look at the press releases and announcements from various operators, they are talking about what they've either deployed and have operating at the moment, or what their plans are for deployments of various virtualized functions through 2016. So I think that's roughly in line with the sort of time frame we're talking about. Now, whether that's exactly the features and function mix that everyone was expecting 2 years ago, that's another question. But I think things are starting to come together in the field.
Manufacturers have been collaborating and partnering in the build-out of big open vendor ecosystems. And if you think back to when NFV started and ETSI first got involved, the first documents that you produced were full of the word ecosystems. They were absolutely dotted across it everywhere, like plums in a pudding, as it were. What do these ecosystems look like now? How important are they? And what has the response been from the service providers?
The vendors that have been producing ecosystems like this have been accelerating the development of the VNFs in those ecosystems. Whether they have the particular mix and match of features that particular operators need, that's a marketplace question that I'm really not in a situation to answer.
No. Well, it's interesting, of course. I was speaking to Mary Polidini earlier, and she was saying, traditionally service providers have always kept the cards close to the chest because they're in competition, and just because there's a new technology on the block, NFV, doesn't mean to say they're going to be more freely available with the information of what they're doing, so maybe a surprise in due course when something does happen.
Yeah, most commercial organisations have challenges talking about forward-looking plans. So,
Indeed, thank you. One thing that does interest me greatly, and which rather surprised me when I first came across it, is this notion of CarriergradeNFE. Now, NFV is generally presented to the world as being a globally applicable, overarching technology, communications technology. That is the same. NFV is NFV. So what is the difference between carrier grade NFV and ordinary NFV, as it were?
If I look in the documents that we've produced, I don't think we actually talk about a carrier grade NFV. So in my view, you have an infrastructure that's a commodity computing platform, essentially, and what's really important is that the virtualized network functions that you're executing on there be carrier grade. So do they have the resiliency to withstand failures of virtual machines and things like this?
Now, the business transformation that goes hand in hand with technology transformation and the emergence of the virtualized network shows that many operators lack the skill sets necessary to manage that transformation quickly and efficiently. And it's pretty obvious that some new skill sets, some new blood specialists need to be brought into the mix. Where will they come from, and how soon will they be effective, do you think?
I think in a lot of ways, NFV is actually a business transformation, not a technology. And so that point is sometimes gets lost in the focus on the shiny new aspects of a particular technology. And from that perspective, there are changes that you would expect to see in the skill mix and in the processes that various operators need to have to take advantage of this sort of softwarization trend that's happening in the industry. So where will those people come from? Well, some of them will come from retraining, some of them will come from new hires. to the extent that that this sort of business transformation changes business models and boundaries, then maybe there's even some mergers and acquisitions that happen out there. But all of this is way beyond what we discussed in
of
ETSI,
course.
so that's
but it's the background to
it's sort of the individual company transition decisions that they need to make about how they're going to approach that sort of transformation.
TelecomTV's been looking at NFV since number 4, so we're beginning to get the hang of it now, and know what's going on in the industry and so on. What do you think are the key items that are being involved in ETSI NFV number 13, which is happening now, and what would you think are going to be the takeaways from it?
So I think every one of our quarterly meetings has been interesting and informative for the folks involved. For this particular meeting, I think we have some steady progress. We have a number of documents that we've completed at this meeting. We have some more that are due for ratification or remote consensus between now and the next meeting. So that's all good, steady progress. And as with your earlier questions, we're looking forward to hearing about more deployments of different virtual functions as we go forward.
I've also been told that you now have, not necessarily the permission, but the ETSI NFV will continue beyond the end of 2016. It was envisaged originally that might be the end of it. It's going to continue beyond that. What will that involve, do you think?
So this is not formally ratified yet. So there have been discussions about what to do at the end of the current authorization period. So we have had some discussions in the community here and with the ETSI Secretariat. So the general assumption is that if there is a valid workload and a need to do this, then ETSI is likely to support us in doing so. And in fact, one of the other takeaways from the meetings this week is looking at the work plans and what the community wants to try and achieve. That's mostly about work items this year, but I would imagine some of those may continue beyond the end of this year.
Okay. Well, Stephen Wright, Chairman of ETSI, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.